is Jocelyn, and I am a registered respiratory therapist, and I have been working in respiratory care for a little over 17 years now. I met Dee through a website that connected us, and we started emailing each other, and been working with her ever since. Definitely the pros of traveling are getting to see new places. So I approach my traveling work as that I am working while I'm on vacation. It's kind of how I view it. My days off, I'm a tourist in the city that I'm living in and the surrounding ones. If you've ever wanted to move to a certain state or a certain area, but you really don't know much about it, it's a big risk to sign down a year's lease and get a new job and try that out. But as a traveler, you can kind of go and dip your toes in the water, stay there for a few months and get an idea of if this is someplace you'd want to, stay permanently one day. Some of the cons are navigating a new city in a new area every 3 months. That's a little bit tricky, and finding like for me, for example, I'm in a camper van, so finding where am I going to do my laundry in this town, where am I going to fill my water tank, or where am I going to get my gas, you're just always learning those new things. So that can be a pro and a con, depending on how you look at it. I like it. I like the challenge of that, but it is a little more time and effort involved. I love working with my recruiter. Dee is a great listener. She's a great cheerleader for me. So, make sure to tell me when I've done something right, or thank me when I've completed a task or done something on time. So it's nice to get that feedback and that positive feedback. She's very thoughtful and generous, and she's supportive. I know that if I need anything, she's there for me. One of the more challenging things I've had to do is the assignment that I'm at now. They work with a certain brand of ventilators that I've not worked with much. And so that vent has a few minute settings and details. And so I've done a lot of research. I've gone to that company's YouTube page and watched their tutorial videos. I've asked some of the charge therapists at this hospital to give me some more insider information on how I can make this ventilator run perfectly for a patient. So it's definitely been a challenge and one of the harder things, but it's one of the reasons I travel is I want to learn things like that. I want to grow as a therapist and take that information to the next challenge and see how I can, make it better. What I wished I would have known is the paperwork is going to take a long time. So for respiratory therapy, you have to get a license in every state of the country. Nurses have compact license, so it's a lot easier for them. And as a respiratory therapist, it should be something we think about and we try to change in the future, because it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of unnecessary paperwork. It's a lot of redundant paperwork. Always keep your paperwork organized and ready, because the next state is going to ask you for a lot of the same things, but then they'll throw in some fun new things for you to get. So I thought it was silly Massachusetts wanted my college transcripts, because I was like, the NBRC, the National Board of Respiratory Care, made sure that I had my college transcripts or they wouldn't have let me sit for the test. So you're kind of making more work for yourself, and they're short-staffed and they're slow and they're behind. But then I go to apply for Connecticut and they want my high school transcripts. I'm like, Atlas has been a very generous company. They have made a lot of things very simple. They have nice websites and apps for your phone to make the process easy. But honestly, the number one thing that I like about Atlas is my recruiter, Dee. So, a company is great and it's a good foundation, but if you don't have that good recruiter, it doesn't really matter how good the company is. I have a whole bucket list of places I want to go. I would really like to get over to the west coast of the country. I'd like to stay in Washington, Oregon, California. One of my biggest hopes, though, is that I'll get to see Glacier National Park. So I would take an assignment out there. So I'm usually applying for my state licenses and picking my jobs based on where I want to be vacationing. So I have a big bucket list, so I might be traveling for a while.